The next question that I've been asked is, what advice will you give to someone embarking on the journey of going into the corporate world, especially consulting? How did you manage to know what they want from you, and how did you train yourself? So, the one piece of advice that I was given at the start of my graduate training program, which has stuck with me throughout my 2 years in consulting, is have a can-do attitude. Having a can-do attitude is key, especially in the beginning, because, you know, in the beginning they don't expect you to know how to be a consultant per se. They don't expect you to know the subject matter that you're dealing with. What they do expect from you as a graduate trainee, as an analyst, is to have a can-do attitude. You know, somebody who is willing to, you know, to always help out, who is, you know, willing and ready to take on work, who is willing and able and ready to learn and take correction. So, you know, I feel like that's number one, is, you know, having that can-do attitude that, you know, no matter what is thrown your way, you look at it like, okay, how can I solve this problem? How can I, you know, jump over this hurdle? So that's the first thing. The second thing that I would say is seek feedback. That's something that has really benefited me in my past 2 years. You know, actively seeking rapid feedback and actually working on that feedback. You know, alhamdulillah, people who are accepted into, you know, graduate training programs, you know, in the city, you're good. Everybody knows you're brilliant, you're really smart, you're intelligent. But there's always something that you can work on. So it's all well and good people saying how great you are, but you really need to push and ask people to tell you, what can I improve on? And actually taking on board feedback and thinking about how you can actually incorporate it into your life and become better by it. So I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. As I said, I haven't rehearsed these questions, but those are the two things that I think stand out to me: having a can-do attitude and seeking feedback and actually incorporating that feedback to make yourself better. In terms of how did I train myself, alhamdulillah, as I said, you know, the training programs that we have here, they are very intensive and they're brilliant and so sought after because of the amount of training they give you. And, you know, alhamdulillah, I've had, you know, great managers on my project who have, you learn on the job. So alhamdulillah, I haven't necessarily had to train myself, but I think identifying my weaknesses and working on them has helped. So things like in my first 3 months, learning how to use Microsoft Excel, you know, again in the first few months, you know, really trying to, you know, learn about PowerPoint, because if you, as a consultant, you know, it's like, you know, death by PowerPoint. You do PowerPoint all the time, you know, learning how to format, attention to detail, you know, all those things that you learn on the job. And then also in terms of your strengths, you know, really recognizing what you're good at and doing those things and being known for that. So that's kind of in terms of how to train myself. Alhamdulillah, there's a lot of on-the-job training that we had, but, you know, those basic things like, you know, Excel, your, you know, PowerPoint, attention to detail, it's so important if you want to make it in the world of consulting.